Still working on that. Still working on that. We do have that comment. Sam Winstrom is down in St. Charles Parish right now, covering everything on the ground for us right now. Do we have Sam back up yet? Okay, here's Sam.
Hey, Mike. Mike, take a look at this. So we just walked around the other side of the church. You know, we're getting further into the area, and we saw this right here. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, like, you know, obviously some construction was still underway here. Some things are still being done in this room, but I thought this was a garage door right here. No, there is a brick wall with windows that was completely blown down into what appears to be some kind of classroom or nursery. I mean, you can see there's a chalkboard, there's a bulletin board with art on it and children's names, and, you know, a cabinet over there, some kind of parade of, you know, zoo animals and things like that. There's a school desk in the corner. And the tornado, which Parish President Matthew Jewell told us touched down right in this area, right at this intersection, blew this brick wall right over into this classroom. So thankfully, you know, it looks like it was unfinished before. This is probably still some Hurricane Ida damage, but thankfully nobody was in this classroom at the time. There was no kind of, you know, school going on the weekend or daycare or anything like that right now, because this damage is just incredible in here. I mean, added on to what was already left over from Hurricane Ida, and it just matches up with what we're seeing right across the area right now, because what we've been told is this is where the tornado touched down here in Paradis. And you can see right above us, this is what really drew us into the area before we found that wall down, is that the metal roof on top of this building was just peeled back like a banana or an orange or something. I mean, just ripped up out of there, and that's where a lot of this water started coming in and causing these issues in this building. And we talked to the pastor of this church earlier, and the simplest words he could tell us, he just said, you know, back to square one. They've been rebuilding and trying to get all this stuff back up since Hurricane Ida, and a year later, they're just back to square one today. And that's where this tornado touched down right here. I mean, if you ever doubt the power of the winds that these things can produce, just take a look at this. You know, this is, I'm sure this wall is not easy to move for anything. And you can see all around us too, the old trees that have been here, the old trees that have been around here ever since, you know, even before Hurricane Ida. You can see there's this beautiful old tree right over here, limbs ripped off, it's torn in half. Who knows what kind of damage is under there? Other ones right around it, all uprooted. And thankfully, you can see right behind there too, there are houses right in this area that it looks like, hopefully, you know, from the outside, it looks like they didn't take any damage. And I hope that's true there too. We haven't made it over to that neighborhood yet, but that's how selective these tornadoes can be. I mean, it's literally like something just reaches out of the sky, just runs a line right down the road of where the damage is. And it's just amazing how narrow and precise these storms are. And we actually spoke with a woman earlier who was here doing some shopping, and she stopped to get lunch with her kids at a Chinese restaurant just down the road when the tornado hit and their alarm started going off, and she witnessed the whole thing. And you've really got to hear her tell this story. Just take a listen to this.
What happened?
We had just left the Dollar General in Lilling, and we wanted some dinner, so we came out to Happy Buffet right there to get some lunch. And we were leaving, we were coming out of the building, and we got in the Jeep, and the wind started to pick up, and then my alarm went off on my phone. I was like, okay, I don't see it yet. Sophie's alarm went off, and then I was like, okay, something told me, don't leave. And so I hurried up and I parked around the side of Happy Buffet right there. And then I heard the alarm, I heard the tornado alarm, and I started cussing, and I told the girls, get out the Jeep, get out the Jeep, get out the Jeep, get out the Jeep. We ran into the Happy Buffet, we're screaming at everybody, there's a tornado, there's a tornado, there's a tornado. I couldn't call people fast enough, I couldn't text people fast enough. And then the power and it came on, it came off, it came on. Then we ran into the bathroom, the lights went out. They're in a bathroom stall. She definitely went to tornado mode, so her teachers are awesome. She knew exactly what to do, she didn't panic. I was the one panicking. And then there was this lady in there, she was over us. I had my arms around my babies, and I was just praying, God, don't let us die in here. God, don't let us die in here. Please, Jesus, don't let us die in here. And my late mother, she was watching us. She was watching us. And then I could have sworn I heard the glass breaking. I was like, my Jeep is gonna flip. My Jeep's gonna be destroyed. My Jeep is gonna flip. And it lasted about 5 minutes. I thought the toilet was gonna come off the floor, and my ears popped like we were coming out off of a bridge. And then within like 6 or 7 minutes, her dad didn't believe that there was a tornado. He was down the street at a house.
No, he was at the school.
He was at the school. And then so when I was screaming, the alarm's going off, the alarm's going off, the alarm's going off.
He was in there within 2 minutes.
And he was and it just happened so freaking fast.
Right.
And then one of my coworkers texted me, they said, Michelle, it's an EF2, it's headed toward Lilling, where are you? I didn't have a chance to answer anybody fast enough. But, you know, we had angels. That's all I can say is we got angels.
I mean, it's really incredible to think of what they went through so fast there, just in a matter of minutes. And, you know, like I said, it's amazing how precise this is. You know, they were hiding in a Chinese restaurant in the bathroom and made it out completely unscathed. Meanwhile, this is just about a block away, maybe 2 blocks down the road. The storm was strong enough to knock down this wall entirely, but thankfully nobody was in here. And Parish President Matthew Jewell told us a little earlier that so far, no injuries or deaths have been reported this storm, and everybody's very thankful for that. But now we'll toss it back to you in New Orleans. Mike?
All right, Sam, thanks. Just some powerful testimony.